Hello, everybody. First, I would like to start off by thanking everyone who has made this momentous event possible. Thank you to my undergraduate brothers for building this chapter into what it is today, and for making my college experience everything that it is. Thank you to all of our alumni who have helped the chapter in every way I could possibly imagine, and for instilling the foundation for the undergraduates to become better versions of ourselves. Lastly, thank you to all the fathers who have made it out today, especially to my dad, for supporting your child to experience all the good that Delta Upsilon has to offer. It is because of all you, I have developed a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, to something I am proud to be a part of. I want to highlight a few accomplishments of why I'm proud to be a part of this organization. For one, the school recently awarded the chapter with the Student Organizations Community Service Award for our community service efforts that we took this semester. Secondly, our chapter has been Aztec Dance Marathon's top fundraising fraternity for the past 2 years to raise money for Rady Children's Hospital. Lastly, I'd like to mention how Brother Justin Kirk did in his speech, that we were named sweepstakes finalists by our internationals for 2 years in a row. And it is my goal as president and our goal as a chapter to be sweepstakes champions next year. These are only a few accomplishments out of many that exemplify how far this chapter has come since being recharted in the year 2000. Dating back to even when I was pledging my freshman year, our number of active brothers has increased exponentially, growing from a 45-man chapter to a 107-man chapter today. This house in which we are all sitting in currently is not only a symbol for how far we've come, but it shall symbolize the presence in which Delta Upsilon will have at San Diego State for many years to come. So thank you everyone for coming out, and thank you to everyone who has made this dream into a reality. I'm extremely honored to have played a role in the making of this house, so thank you.
This is an example of why we alumni want to put in time and money, the quality of men that come out of this chapter. And now the final two speakers, Brother Vaughn Jeffrey and Brother Bruce Howard. Vaughn Jeffrey is a 1970 graduate. He's an alumni advisor, a board member. He's has attended 6 leadership institutes in a row. He worked for the city and county of San Diego as an upper echelon level administrator. He worked for the government for 30 years, and for 5 of those years they paid him. He's a great organizer, mentor, and problem solver. Some people say he's getting up in years. I don't think so, but he was a personal friend of Charles Evan Hughes. Bruce Howard is a 1970 graduate, has a bachelor's degree and master's degree, had his own real estate company and still has it, was a founder of this fraternity, a president of the fraternity. He's on the alumni board for 10 years. He's currently on the DU International Board. He is as important to San Diego State as Justin and Bernard are to International. He was Alumni Advisor of the Year a few years ago, San Diego State DU Chapter Man of the First 50 Years. He's been married 47 years to a DU little sister, Lynn, who strangely enough has also been married 47 years. He's the glue to the fraternity, my friend and spiritual buddy, and we celebrate how important God is in our life together. Please welcome brothers Howard and Jeffrey.
Hello, everybody. We get the fun part. We get to recognize the true dignitaries and our major donors, and it's going to be a tag team. I hope we pull it off.
No problem.
Okay.
We're ready.
All right. First,
1 minute.
Yeah.
Left.
No respect. Okay. I would like to recognize Dave Francetta. Dave, well, maybe you should stand up for the whole thing, Dave. So Dave is a 1970 member of the Michigan State University chapter. He served in the U.S. Navy and a distinguished career, oh, thank you, John, at Prudential Financial as an executive in accounting, finance, and investments. He retired in 2004 and went to work for an international think tank, and then he opened his own consulting firm. Dave's currently serving his 4th term as treasurer of the Delta Upsilon Educational Foundation, to which we make our donations for leadership and even the funding of this house. I met Dave a few years ago golfing at an DU Leadership Institute in Scottsdale, and we've been friends ever since. Dave has a special spot in his heart for this chapter, and he's made a $1,000 donation to our chapter legacy plan. Please help us recognize our brother Dave Francetta.
Jordan Lotsoff, please stand. The current chairman of Delta Upsilon International University's Loss Prevention Committee, Jordan has served on the fraternity's board of directors 2 separate times for a total of 11 years. He has also served as a fraternity staff member and currently serves as DU International's Risk Sharing Fund, FMRT's representative, and as a chairman of the Claims and Legal Committee. In his spare time, Jordan is a vice president at Everest Insurance Company, where he specializes in underwriting for difficult-to-place commercial and general products liability. Thank you, Jordan. I want to remind everybody here that Brother Bruce Howard is also a member of Delta Upsilon International Fraternity's Board of Directors.
So the next person we'd like to recognize is Brother Hayden Ron. He's an Oregon graduate, 2016. Thank you, Hayden. He's a headquarters staff member. He's the expansion and development coordinator, and we're lucky to have him working directly with our active chapter to help them in all their programming and become a better chapter. He also works with other chapters in the DU chapters in the Western region, and we're lucky he lives nearby in Temecula. Thanks for being here, Hayden. Okay, now we're going to take a few moments to recognize the brother of the day. Zach, will you please come up here? Okay, you've heard a little bit about Zach and the fact that we're all standing in the house he built, but we simply would not be here without him. He's fronted, for those of you who don't know, he's fronted personal funds. He's spent countless hours planning, coordinating, working with the city, the contractors, the alumni board, the lenders, the undergraduate, and on and on and on, all while residing in Orange County. So this guy's on the road, down here all the time. And I think his daughter goes to school here, so he comes by to say hi once in a while. But he spends a lot of time on the road, and he's got tremendous drive and energy, which we admire, Zach. And we just can't thank you enough for this chapter house. You're recognized at the top of our Alumni Wall of Fame upstairs. And in addition, a special plaque is being prepared for permanent display in the chapter room, honoring you and commemorating this day. In the meantime,
Zach, we wanted to award you a gold construction helmet. You'll notice it is not a brown helmet. It is a gold helmet. Small token of our appreciation. Thank you, Zach. At this time, we also want to recognize the members of R&R Construction Company. We'd like to recognize the people that built the house and cooperating with all of us in producing this wonderful facility. Rick Woolsey, CEO and owner of R&R Construction. Is Rick here? Number 2, Brad Alaban. Brad, are you with us today? 3rd, Troy Gaines, Superintendent of R&R Construction. Without them, we would have no construction. Although Lou Haberkern cannot make it today, Lou was the boots on the ground interface between the alumni board and the construction company. We want to appreciate Lou Haberkern, a true friend of Delta Upsilon, and who unfortunately can't be here with us today, but he was one who helped push the project along to completion. So we want to appreciate Lou as well. Bruce?
Thank you, Vaughn. At this time, we're going to recognize our red donors, red tile donors. For those of you who've been upstairs, we have an alumni wall of fame that Eric put together. Thank you, Eric. And the large donors are the red tiles, and then it goes down from there. So we'd like to share our brothers that have contributed the most to help fund this house. So, Tony Glaze, will you please stand for a moment? Oh, yeah. Okay. Tony is a 1977 member of our fraternity, and he was a chapter president in 1979 to 80. Tony entered the publishing business out of school with Time Incorporated and finished his publishing career as a publisher of Sunset Magazine, and then moved to the internet startup business in 1998. He was involved in 4 venture-backed startups in Silicon Valley from 1998 to 2002. He served on the Silicon Valley Board of Directors from 2002 to 2010. Then Tony and his partner started a contract office furniture company in 2002, sold it in 2008, and he started another furniture company in 2013, now in his 5th year, and I think he's trying to sell that right now from an earlier conversation. I connected with Tony at a DU alumni tailgate several years ago, and we were actually wandering for a break and between the festivities, and I found that he actually had a passion for our mission to build better men through leadership training. So he helped fund that effort, and then he made a $25,000 donation to the chapter house to help us along. So Tony's also an avid outdoorsman, and he loves duck hunting. So when you're upstairs, if you see the recognition of Tony over that small meeting room, you'll see the Glaves duck blind to remember Tony and his donation. So we can't thank you enough, Tony. Thank you.
Next, we're going to recognize Rick Tigner, a 1984 member of Delta Upsilon. He's not with us today. He has remained in contact with our Alumni Association, even though he lives and works in Sonoma Valley wine country, one of the greatest wine regions in Northern California. You may have seen Rick starring in a January 2012 episode of Undercover Boss. Rick currently serves as the CEO of Wine Enthusiast Magazine's 2017 American Winery of the Year, Jackson Family Wines. Rick continues to provide much appreciated in-kind contributions from cellars of some of the wineries he manages. Cheers to Rick Tigner.
Brother Joe Landstrom, where are you? Stand up, please. There you are. Hi, Joe. Joe is on our board, has been serving for a number of years and commutes from north of here. Joe owns a mortgage company with offices in Houston, Las Vegas, and Newport Beach. He attended an LI with us, a Leadership Institute, which inspired him to lead the charge to fund leadership training. He's also made a substantial donation to our housing fund. Thank you, Joe.
Stuart Liner, also not with us today. Stuart is a 1982 member of San Diego State University chapter. Stu Liner is strongly committed to the ongoing success of our mission of building better men. In his legal profession, He is known for his advocacy on behalf of celebrities, business managers, lawyers, agents, and studio heads in the entertainment industry. He was recently recognized in the Los Angeles Business Journal as one of the top facilitators in the 500 most influential people of Los Angeles for 2016. Stu, we thank you for your support.
Andy Glasscock, 1983 member. Andy sends his regrets. He's on the East Coast running a startup company, but he said he will get out here as soon as he can to see the new chapter house. He's also attended a Leadership Institute and began funding leadership training, and then made a significant donation to Housing Fund. Thank you, Andy. We're sorry you couldn't be with us. So now it gives us great pleasure to recognize our final Red Towel donor. Bill Deering, where are you? Please stand, Bill. Okay, there he is. Those of you on the board and have been around the fraternity know who Bill is. He's a key director, he's a key member of our alumni board, he's a humble brother who shrinks from recognition. But we'd be remiss if we didn't thank him for his countless hours and years of service to the board, organizing each reunion, making significant financial contributions, and quietly committing his company resources in big ways without reimbursement whenever he's seen the need. He's been invaluable in assisting Zach and our board through this challenging construction project. It's hard to say enough about what this man's done for our brotherhood. Thank you, Bill. By the way, Bill, thank you very much for committing to another 25-year term on the board.
We will now recognize donors on the black tiles in our room. These are brothers who donated between $5,000 and $20,000 each. Bruce Howard, Bill Deering, Tom Darcy.
Lon Jeffrey, John Little, Brian Lauder, Steve Ham, John Fallgetter, Ed Baldry, Mike Judd, in fond memory.
Jim Shabaram, Ron Zappelli, John Storer, Scott Birch, Mike Gerson, Victor Hazard, Jeffrey Jellison, Mike Napolitano, Thomas Newton, and Robert Stoner. In addition to the brothers we just recognized, there are more than 100 other brothers who have made donations in various amounts, and you can thank them properly, and many of them are listed on the tile wall and on the second floor. Brothers, so many of you have stepped up and made generous donations in the past few years to help our active chapter become what it is today, a thriving brotherhood that is focused strongly on our four principles of justice, friendship, character, and culture. Our Alumni Association is committed to supporting our active chapter to become the best chapter in Delta Upsilon International Fraternity. Please continue to make your pledges to not only the Housing Fund and your ongoing donations to the DU International Foundation for leadership training and academic excellence. We continue to raise funds for the chapter education account and the legacy account. When time comes around again, when you need to increase your tax deductible charitable donations, or when you simply remember what it was like to live 4 years mainly on top ramen and coffee, we know that you will once again donate to the success of these 107 young DU brothers, and we thank you for all of your donations.
Thank you, brothers Jeffrey and Howard. And now the good news, the speaking portion of the dedication is over, and now we're going to go to the back. We have a 5-minute dedication, 2 things, and then we're going to take a picture, and that will conclude the festivities for today. So what I'd like to do, if that's working, if you could bring that out, is the dignitaries are going to go out first. We're going to go out the center aisle, and then we're going to follow like in a wedding, the first row, second row, until we get out there, and we're going to be